Stargate device of alien origin exists in the United States, according to Dr. Dan Burisch. Dr. Dan Burisch holds a doctorate in microbiology and is a former Secretary of the United States military. Burisch is aware of the annoying information about alien time machines called the Looking Glass, the Orion Cube Stargate, secret government plans, and the disappearance of the human race. He was born in California in 1964. Dan Burisch studied microbiology and psychology at the University of Las Vegas in Nevada. He graduated in 1986 and received a doctorate in microbiology in 1989 in New York State. In 1986, he received an unexpected visit from the University of Las Vegas by the so-called secret government of the United States. Two of these men in military uniforms offered Dan a job to work on their behalf in a state of complete secrecy. In 1987, he began working in the Nevada government office. In 1989, he worked on a secret project called Sharp Storm. But in 1994, it was moved to an underground space called the Fourth Century, which forms part of Area 51, where he began working on the Aquarium project, an inland deep part of Area 51 of S4 base, where, according to Dan Burisch, gates and alien boats are to be found, stargates that is. There he learned about, and alien ships, alien crafts. I'm translating from a Greek article. I'm sorry about a little bit of delay. Now, there he learned about military spaceships and alien beings. In one wing, there was information about beings called residents, natives of the Orion, from Orion constellation, and extraterrestrial beings from the Z Reticuli star system. Dan Burisch learned about a copy of President Eisenhower's agreement with two tribes, two races of these, including extraterrestrial life forms called P-50s and later called Orion or Orionians. In a room called Galileo, Burisch could see different kinds of spaceships. One such aircraft was the craft operated by Bob Lazar, the well-known former nuclear physicist who was also in service in Area 51 in the 1980s, the one that landed in Roswell in 1947. According to Colonel Philip Corso, he lived from 1914 to 1997, who wrote the book The Day After Roswell, the aliens who had interplanetary journeys controlled the ship, the craft that landed on Roswell directly, with their brain. So it was a mental frequency capacity. Corso said the alien craft was the key to technological progress. Eisenhower met with several extraterrestrial races who warned him to abandon atomic weapons to prevent a future nuclear holocaust. Diplomatic discussions between cultures took place during this meeting, and an agreement was adopted to abduct people to study them as long as they do not suffer and remember their existences. The Orion extraterrestrials gave him an 8 centimeter by 8 inch wide cube capable of predicting the future. A copy of the Orion Cube is a Stargate type device, also known as a mirror, and this mirror is hidden in Area 51. Burisch worked directly on Majestic 12 related to the time gates or dimensional gates. They are also devices made on Earth, but with extraterrestrial technology. According to Burisch, Dr. Burisch, information on how the stargates were made was also available to the ancient Sumerians, who used to communicate with other cultures through these stargates, giving access to a wormhole. Dan describes Stargate in Area 51, saying that next to this huge device was a platform that allowed him to drop an object in the wormhole to travel to other stars, capable of teleporting from material to living organisms such as humans from one part of the galaxy to another in seconds. But Burisch says he saw one person who did not survive that experiment. This device can be used to view future events, he said, and according to him, there are 50 stargates on Earth, and the human race is in grave danger of extinction, he says. This is according to the Greek article Diadrastika, and I'll leave a link below for you for this. So basically, they're telling us there's 50 dismantled stargates on Earth. This goes in hand with what is written by Thoth the Atlantean in the Emerald Tablets. If you want to see what is said in there, you can see those videos on my playlist, The Emerald Tablets. There's a lot of details there as to the ancient technology of the Atlanteans before one of the great floods that did away with that continent. And Thoth explains that there were some who survived that catastrophe and went to other areas of the world. The first thing they did was set up their pyramid plateaus. They had very advanced technology. They had flight, and they had space flight with interstellar travel. They had stargates. They had also interdimensional travel as well. And that's what they misused, and they were very haughty and selfish and very detrimental to humans as well. So this has something to do with what Thoth told us about in the Emerald Tablets, specifically about stargates. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.